Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. All right, November 4th, 2020, and we are in worst case scenarios. Yes, that's right. Contested election. It could not get more worse than this. The event that all of the volatility was pricing in for, it is happening right now, and I have to level with you guys right off the bat. I think this is nonsense. Complete, shenanigans here. You have a contested election. Everybody knows that the situation is tense, and you stop counting? What is wrong with these people? How could you stop counting? Man, you want to give Republicans every reason to think that there are shenanigans going on. Stop counting. Holy crap. It's just insane. And yes, come over here, look at the markets. It is a madhouse. It is a madhouse here in the treasuries. Just here in the last 5 seconds, as I've been talking, we've traded an 8-tick range in the 10-year treasury. So, let's go to some charts here. Whew. Okay, 10-year treasury is the one that I'm the most interested in, so I'm going to go with that first. And at first, I had a really great trade going on the downside off of what appeared to be a Joe Biden win. And then when it went to Donald Trump and then subsequently contested election, we got the flight to safety and the treasuries went up. Pretty cray-cray. Yeah, and when you look at the levels that we're at and everything, it's just wow, we just retraced 4 days worth of trading in 5 minutes overnight. It's just it's absolutely crazy. Okay, E-mini is all over the place, man. I mean, this is just crazy here. Okay, so we had this initial move up on somebody's actually going to win, and then I don't know why they moved down, and then it was oh look, Donald Trump. Oh, actually, I think it was this one right here. It was somebody's going to win. Oh, I don't know why they went down here. And then, oh, Donald Trump's going to win. Oh, actually, it's not. And this is about where I went to sleep right here. And I was I think you sell it. Now, interestingly enough, we're back on the highs. Wow. Okay, let's go and look at some other markets here. Okay, oil is handling it okay. Gold initially took a huge dump. Has since recovered. Copper doing the same thing as gold. Man. And the dollar. Woo. All over the place. Although the dollar is coming down again. So what's with that? So when I woke up this morning, the news was that it was still heavily contested. So I'm going to pull this over here and let's pull up some results now. So I am going to go to Politico. And in the meantime, I am going to post up the text to speech so that you guys can keep giving your opinions. And I want to start with something very important here for you guys before I start letting you talk, all right? Please do not share information that is not verified, okay? Please do not share information that is not verified, all right? Because I know I have a lot of opinions. I think that this is nonsense, but we should not be posting in stuff that is not positively verified, so. Boom, boom, boom. All right, and then come over here and make sure that I got the equity indexes up here. Okay. Presidential winner could take days. The president race for the White House right here. So I expect the map to look pretty similar to how I looked last night. The only difference is that Joe Biden is now ahead in Wisconsin. And that is because one precinct did decide to put their votes in, whereas in the Green Bay area where Donald Trump has been doing well, they have not. So now we also have Nevada. And what does Nevada? 67%. Oh, wow. It is so tight over there in Nevada. And Arizona, some of these have been called that they don't. So Donald Trump thinks that Arizona shouldn't have been called. North Carolina, so close. Virginia, okay, Virginia did go towards Biden there and now with the 84% in, but so maybe that one really is legit. I don't know.
Kevin Wimmer says, so I have a question. What about Puerto Rico? Why doesn't it appear on the election map? Or is it counted together with another state?
Oh, actually, I don't know why. I think that it should be on the map. Districts, here you go. Maine's first district, Nebraska. It should be on there because they get one, I think. I think they get one. I don't recall. It's not significant enough to change anything, but. Okay, so now we need to pull up our light map and let me show you. Okay, so at the moment we're looking at Joe Biden win Nevada, Arizona. Was this the one? Yeah, this is the one. So this contested election, well, like really close election scenario that I initially posted is actually starting to look likely now. Donald Trump wins North Carolina and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan don't come up, and Joe Biden wins by 2 electoral votes. No joke. Can you believe that? Yeah, why doesn't Puerto Rico? Maybe they don't get an electoral vote. I don't know. Does Puerto Rico get electoral votes? They do. They are not entitled to electoral votes for president. Oh. Okay, I guess they don't. Because I was wrong. Why are 2 states in blue and red? What are you talking about? Which ones are you talking about? By the way, we had ADP today. Treasury refunding announcement. That's a big one here in a moment. Well, I think you want to. On the 270 to win map. Oh, this one. So that one is because they have a law that creates a special district. So there's a district in Nebraska that actually ends up voting blue. And that's why it's split. And same with Maine. Maine has a district. So that's why there's these split votes down in here. So Donald Trump gets one there and Joe Biden gets one there, and it's just kind of splits. Okay. Higher. I don't know what to do, so I'm not going to trade that one. Let's game this out a little bit better. Yeah, those are the split district ones. Man, am I getting this right? Am I going to be that on? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I was that close. Now, here's a bigger one is Donald Trump could win Michigan. Basically, it comes down to these 3 states right here, right? You take 2 of them, you win. End of story. Now, big caveat, North Carolina's in play. Nevada and Arizona are in play. Map really looks like that. But it's highly likely, based on the numbers that I've seen, that these will go to Biden and that this will go to Donald Trump. And PA, we're looking at it, and Republicans are saying it's ridiculous that they can't call it yet. Because in order for... I know you're a Republican, but I hope Biden wins. Oh, because you have a bet on it? That's funny. Okay. Anyways, in Pennsylvania, Donald Trump is up some like 700,000 votes, 800,000 votes or something like that. It's actually a pretty solid margin in Pennsylvania. Let me come back over here. Okay. You can see there, it's about 600,000 votes. So the remaining mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania have to come in almost like 80% for Joe Biden for him to win. So the Republicans feel very strongly that they are going to win in Pennsylvania. So this is where it's like, if Pennsylvania comes in and Pennsylvania actually goes blue, then their Republicans are going to be very upset. They're going to claim that it was all stolen. Totally, because right now it looks like extremely unlikely. Okay. But you can see with the way that we have it out right now, that's not enough. That's not enough with Pennsylvania alone, right? So then you get Wisconsin and Michigan, right? And that this is a scenario that I drew up. Am I actually going to be dead on? Did I post that one on Facebook? I don't remember. I did not. But I have it posted in Discord. Well, I can just post it. It's this URL right here. I am like, what? That is how many votes from the military outside the U.S. I have now. There's a lot of absentee ballots that are going to come in and be counted, but it's just going to get put in with all of the other mail-in votes, I'm sure. So hard to make a conclusion off of that one. Okay. Okay. Nevada election says here's what's left to count. Mail ballots received on election day, mail ballots that will be received over the next week, and provisional ballots. Ballots outstanding is difficult to estimate in Nevada because every voter was sent a mail ballot. Obviously, not all will vote. Yeah. And this is where I feel that we are like literally in the worst case scenario, because it is so close and all of these places are too close to call, and we're not going to find out what they are for days, maybe a week or more. You think that Georgia is going to go for Biden? I'd take you up on that one. I don't think that he stands a chance. So wait, let's go see what. Yeah, no, I don't think so. They would really have to be stolen. North Carolina is maybe a little bit more possible, but well, yeah, they're both 94% of the vote though. I don't know. I guess it's possible. You just got to realize that. Well, like let's just do the math, okay? Do the math. If you got math, okay. 732,104 minus 2,655. 392. So there is a margin of 76,000 votes. Let me just create a notepad over here. Oops. 76,712. Okay. Now we need to add 2, 7, 32104 plus 2655392. Okay, so then that number divided by 0.94 equals this big old hunkin' huge number here. That's the total vote. And then times 0.06 is the stuff remaining to be counted. 343. Okay. So, how do okay, so of the remaining counting, we have to say, oh my gosh, I'm like, my mind is going like blank. It's too early in the morning to do algebra. Okay, so if we say, 343,882 times x, which would be the percentage of vote that Biden gets, minus 343,882 times 1 minus x is equal to or greater than this one, 76,712, right? So then this becomes 343,882x minus 343,882 minus 343,882x. So then these two cancel out. 343,882 x minus 343,882 greater than or equal to 7,6,712, right? Seven, 6,712 minus 323,882 equals, and then divided by 343,882. I might be having that right. And you get it out that Joe Biden would have to win 71% of those votes in order to win those states. Yeah. Joe Biden would have to win 71% of that vote. So the stats are that it's 2-1 that Republicans are more likely to vote on election day. So it's not unreasonable, but it's less likely than likely. I don't know. So it's not like it's impossible for Biden to make up that thing, but if he does make that up, a lot of people are going to think that's fake. Brannigan Barrett says if ESF opens up at the current price $34.25, then we could gap up on yesterday's range. What? I don't think so. No way. I'm surprised that they're not selling more, to be honest with you. I think that, so here's the thing that's so crazy, is that the market is just as clueless as we are on a lot of this. Yeah. Margins are a bit high in the pre-market. Well, Sunday Driver says mail-in votes are coming in something like 89%. So when they were talking about Pennsylvania, they were saying, if we look at this one county, then they were 80 to 90%. But there's where I'm saying that it's that's like just like one data point. It's somewhat unreasonable based on the polling that we have that it will continue to come in at that rate. That's the thing. In Georgia and North Carolina, it needs to come in. They need to get more than 70%. In Pennsylvania, they need to get more than like 80%. That's what I think the math that I saw. Wisconsin and Michigan are much closer. And that's where I'm starting to think that Wisconsin and Michigan may actually go to Joe Biden. And then it turns into, okay, if Trump takes Pennsylvania, then he would need one of Nevada or Arizona or Virginia. Virginia still has been called, and that one looks like that's off the table. They think that they are still going to win in Arizona. I don't know. That one's probably a big uphill climb, but since the votes left to count are Donald Trump people at the polls and everything that they had on their metrics seemed to look good, I understand why Trump thinks that they're going to win it, but that doesn't mean that they are going to.
Uzi Knesset says kinda crazy to think that people counting votes across the country are all, to one degree or another, hyperpartisan, terrified lunatics with every incentive to miscount for their guy lol.
I just have to say the thing that I said at the very beginning, because I know that a lot of you aren't here at the very opening dialogue, but I think it is absolutely ridiculous that they stopped counting. I am so absolutely appalled that in Pennsylvania they're like, oh, we're just going to stop counting. There's no legitimate excuse for them to stop counting. Leanne Gell says the new FYP will bring more opportunities to our foreign friends. I mean, at the moment, I think so. Where was the Betfair? Betfair was the place, right? We can see if Predicted is up again, but Predicted was like shot last night. Oh, look. It hasn't changed on Predicted. Betfair, I don't know where the in play. Yeah. I don't know how to get to the political ones on Betfair, but they switched here. Okay, so their market had Donald Trump up a little bit, and now here in the morning, it's gone back to they think it's going to be Biden. I think that the prediction market appears to be accurately tracking the public sentiment on who will win, and it does appear at the moment that the public sentiment is that Joe Biden is going to win. I don't think every state play will go to Biden. I think it's highly unlikely Georgia and North Carolina. But yeah, Lindsey Graham, to all the posters out there, you have no idea what you're doing, and to all the liberals in California and New York, you wasted a lot of money. Is that because they all thought that maybe he could lose? Republicans cling to Senate majority as Dems underperform. Oh yeah, well you got to point out when we come back over to here that here that one held, 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 that one held. They did get Nebraska. Oh, these are the districts. Nobody cares about this. About the one that I was looking at in particular, the North Carolina one, it looks like that she's going to hold it, but they haven't called it yet. So, but it looks like that we're going to have basically a tied tied Senate. Mm-mm-mm. Funny how the predictions swing to Biden when the entire process comes to a grinding halt. I can't. There's no excuse for them to not count them. To stop counting them was like, what? Like, really? What possible excuse is there to not count them? Don't. Now, there's also this whole thing that like the market is up. Is the market up there because they think that there's going to be a Joe Biden win? But if they think there's going to be a Joe Biden win, then we should be selling the treasuries, right? For the moment, they sit up here, and there's like so much overnight volume and stuff. Well, I probably should reset it, but I'm going to leave it there for now because it does appear to be working. Well, I have a little bit of food here, so I'm going to eat that little bit of food, all right?
Rob Farley says morning all. What a wild night. I watched and simmed. Lol.
It was a wild night, man, but I think as wild of a night as we had, I think that it's just getting started, man. Because here's the thing. As much as all the Republicans are like they're going to try and steal the election and blah, 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 there are going to be court cases, man. Okay? We already know there's one. There was the court case in Pennsylvania, and the Supreme Court declined to prevent them from counting the votes. But after they're going to count the votes, and then they're going to say, no, you can't count the ones that are after 3 days. That's not in the state law, and they're going to disqualify those. And could that be enough to swing Pennsylvania? Yeah. But they'll need more than Pennsylvania, won't they? EU stocks love Democratic president and Republican Senate. Well, okay, now that's another good point. Is that if Democrats aren't going to take the Senate, the real doomsday scenario doesn't happen. We basically get 4 years of Biden and a bunch of nonsense. So maybe the current trade going. So how many Senate map ones are? Well, let's see if Real Clear Politics has it like a. Too close to count. Senate map. See, they don't. I wish that this was like updated as it was going. Like which ones are too close to call? You know. Well, we could. You know, when I click on that, Democrats flipped 2 seats, but the GOP took 1 back. Dems needed a net gain of 3 or 4 seats to win the majority. Which ones are still tied? Purdue and Ossoff. I think Purdue's going to win. Well, wow. Okay, so this is those two places, man. If they do flip those 2 seats, that would be 2, 3. That one's not happening. They could do it, actually. They could flip 3 seats. 1, 2. Oh, they already own that. They already own that one, so they can flip 2 seats. But it actually looks like that the GOP might take that one. So, EPA County suspends vote counting until 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Well, that's 2 hours from now. An hour from now. Let's see here. Twitter. We have labeled the tweet about the Wisconsin election result by the chair of the state Democratic Party as potentially misleading. Okay. Twitter, making sure that everybody knows that they're trying to be fair. I still think you're, full of crap, Twitter.
Uzi Knesset says they won't let him win. Haha. Uzi Knesset says they didn't spend 4 years redesigning the entire media landscape, whipping people back and forth, censoring people, and gaslighting them for nothing.
So here's an interesting quote from Ed Morrissey of Hot Air. Democrats were convinced that making Trump the issue would lead to a nationally realigning repudiation, and that did not pay off. Jake Sherman says Democrats are waking up to an abject disaster. Let's read that story on Hot Air. Should I read it in my, what is it called? What do we call it? My mid-Atlantic accent? I'll just read it like a normal person. Jake Sherman may be overstating the status quo a bit here, as it wasn't exactly a good night for Democrats or Republicans. Both went into yesterday's election expecting a wave behind them, and both ended up disappointed. Although Donald Trump outperformed the pollsters last night, more on which later, he apparently lost ground in Arizona and Wisconsin. Very true. I'm actually quite shocked that Arizona at the moment is as bad as it is, but there are probably a lot of Californians moved over there, and there's some demographic changes. Democrats, however, were convinced that making Trump the issue would lead to a nationally realigning repudiation. Not only did that not happen, it looks like the GOP made some modest gains in the House. Jazz is covering the Senate races and the GOP's surprising resilience in an upcoming post. However, as Sherman suggests, let's take a look at the House. There are still a number of races left to be called, but the Washington Post sounds very gloomy about Democrats' prospects. Republicans took back some of the suburban seats they lost in the Democrat turnout, and MAGAland never materialized. Nancy Pelosi and House Democrats on Tuesday appeared on track to secure another 2 years in the majority, but as the votes were being tallied late into the night, the party looked set to fall drastically short of its bullish predictions that it would cut deep into Trump country to grow its majority. Rather, several Democrat incumbents of the party believed were secured found themselves suddenly out of a job. And GOP districts that Democrat leaders had been eyeing for months landed solidly in Republican control.
Winston's
Those
mom
results
says
come.
Maricopa County is the fastest growing suburb in America. Arizona's demographics are changing and McSally was never popular. She may have hurt the party there.
That may be true. Pelosi focused hard on Pennsylvania and Michigan in order to control more state delegations in the case of a House-settled presidential election. The chances of that actually being contested in the House range between slim and none, but regardless, Republicans still control at least 26 state delegations. It looks like Democrats lost Florida thanks to a better-than-expected Republican turnout and large gains among Hispanic voters. Both Debbie Murcassel Powell and Clinton advisor Donna Shalala got bounced out of the House by a pair of Hispanic Republicans. The shock began early, then intensified as the night went on, and so on. Republicans held on to key seats in Texas where Democrats spent a lot of money, and their never-ending project to turn the state blue, they couldn't even convert a seat held by retiring GOP moderate Will Hurd. Here in Minnesota, veteran Colin Peterson got thumped by Michelle Fishbash, a surprise of sorts in an election where Trump barely cracked single digits in the presidential race. Peterson hung long after his district turned red, but voters in western Minnesota finally had enough. Republicans are no threat to take the majority in the House, and it's possible that absentee ballots might change some outcomes in Pennsylvania and Michigan, but it's clear that Pelosi's strategic plans are not paying off very handsomely for House Democrats. When she runs again for Speaker, she claimed that she will do, the remaining and slimmer majority should probably look for a fresher face and a fresher approach to governing. Thank you. Can we just get rid of Nance? Listen, I'll trade Trump for Pelosi. I'll do it. I do it. If it's chess, I trade Trump for. We can run Trump again in 2024, but if we can just get Pelosi out of the Speaker of the House position, it's worth it. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but I feel like it. Okay. One thing's for sure, this result pretty much guarantees that the lame duck session ahead will be let's make a deal time. Neither side gains anything by holding out until the next session, and House Democrats will actually have slightly less leverage after the first of the year. Yay! So we will actually get a deal. Actually, this is good. This is actually good. We could do a deal. Hey, Donald Trump wants to do a big deal. He'll still do a big deal. I wonder, is it gonna be Trump 2024? What do you guys think? Do you think Trump will run again in 2024? I'm kind of thinking no, but there are gonna be a lot of people thinking it.
Winston's mom says Bloomberg, just in. Businesses' payrolls increased by 365,000 last month after a revised 753,000 rise in September, according to ADP Research Institute data released Wednesday. Uzi Knesset says nah, Trump is done after this. Winston's mom says the October gain was weaker than all but one estimate in a Bloomberg survey of economists and was less than the median projection for a 643,000 gain.
Glenn Greenwald, is the polling industry and the media's data gurus who feed off of it going to gaslight everyone again and unite to insist that there's absolutely nothing wrong with their craft and that anyone who suggests this is just ignorant, uneducated, and irrational? I hope not. I think that Nate Silver should be finished. To be honest, I think that his model is wrong. I think Nicholas Nassim Taleb, who I greatly respect, is 100% right on this one. And Nate Silver is full of crap, and they need to stop giving him. At the very least, Nate Silver needs to hire somebody to rein him in, because I think that they were dead wrong. Their model was saying like 90% chance of Biden win, and even if he wins, is this really a 90%? You know,
Seth, the chat that Trump has lost.
I think that the general. Well, I don't want to say consensus. Consensus is probably not a good word, dude. It appears at the moment that the population and the market is betting that Trump is going to lose. Yes. I'm gonna say that I can't really say. So just to show you again, here's our map right now. This is the scenario that I had gamed out originally. Right now, these states are all still in play. Arizona, potentially, the Republicans claim that Arizona should still be in play. Then there's also Georgia and North Carolina that are close, but are predicted to go to Trump. But it's possible. It's possible that those ones are in play. I think Virginia really is done for, but... So there's your map, you know. But like I said, like the probabilities right now, what they think is going to happen is these are going to stay red. And some people think that it's going to be like that. That those three places are all going to go Democrat. And Republicans think that because they think that those counties are going to be stolen. But Democrats always knew that this was going to be the case. That's where I didn't realize, I don't know how I missed that these ones count the mail-in ballots last. is really shady, but that's what they're going to do. Now, Donald Trump looks like he's ahead in Pennsylvania. So that's where, again, this was my original map. So it looks like Joe Biden might win by 2.
Doesn't do polls. He just aggregates polls. Polls are nothing but disinformation tools to suppress the Republican vote.
They're not disinformation tools, but I think that there's serious things wrong with their science. The fact that the fact that Republicans just don't answer the polls is like basically makes them useless. Is what it looks like to me. Really? According to exit polls, Trump did better in 2020 with every race and gender except white men.
Sunday Driver says every race in play will go blue due to mail-in vote.
Stop.
Senate will go blue.
Stop. I don't want this nonsense. You're just fear-mongering based on your own constant predictions for doom. I really hope Donald Trump wins, and then we can laugh in your face. But let's see here. Oh, the race between McAdams and Burgess Owens is too close to call. Really? All right. Where's that? How did I get this one up here? I'm just gonna close that one. I think we're done talking about that, right? House. Utah, this one right here. It's with 63.6% of precincts in, and McAdams is up. I don't know how much of that is going to be mail-in votes versus, I don't know. In Utah, they've had mail-in voting for a long time, so the mail-in voting is not going to be as favorable to the Democrat as they are in other places. I would really like to see McAdams go because he lied to me. I think he's a lying weasel, but... Ding, ding, ding. Fed says FOMC meeting will proceed as scheduled. Oh, my. And let's see here. We got ISM surveys today. Oh, wait. Does that mean the Fed meeting announcement is on a Thursday or something? Is that right? This week. Okay, so now I'm hearing from the AP that Biden is up in Michigan. Yeah, it does not look like Donald Trump is going to win. These are going blue. Now, I don't know if you can really... I mean, people will say that one was stolen, but... I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Oh, yep, there it is right there. Well, that's a change that could still change. I don't know. Probably the remaining votes that come in from Wisconsin and Michigan are going to be in favor of Biden. Probably the ones that come in Pennsylvania are going to be in favor of Biden. So again, we're going to get Biden wins by 2. Are you kidding me? Well, there's still Nevada. I don't know about Nevada. If Donald Trump won in Nevada and that was how he won that'd be crazy. The heat map on ZB is so ugly. The liquidity is not super great, is it? What is the market doing at the open? Okay, well, let's think about this a little bit. I don't know. I think that there's going to be a lot of chaos. So I think that in this case, us trying to well, we're getting more numbers here. I don't know. But it's probably better for us to try and trade the volatility than it is to try and game which direction the market is going to go. I don't know. If we're coming into, I don't know. There's still a little bit too much. Here's the thing: is that when we were up last night, and it looked like it was a Donald Trump win. I mean, it's feeling good because everybody else was saying it was a Donald Trump win, but I kept saying, I don't know. I'm not sure that some of these are actually going to be Donald Trump in the end. And there's a couple of things that I can't explain. And now I think we can explain them and it comes through, and it's not like that, right? So it's kind of like the market is going to move on sentiment and some things that aren't true. And so it's probably better for us to just try and trade the volatility of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's funny listening to political amateurs. I don't know, dude. Line map it looks like it was like right on. It's close. Well, based on the current map, my map looks exactly like that map right now. The map that I made a week ago. I think that was just luck. I don't think that the market really is that great with the politics, though. When I was watching on the news stream, it was like you get these moves that like made 0 sense at all, and then they flipped around again, and like all of a sudden I'm realizing that they're all trading off of the same feed and information, and that none of them know jack squat more than you or I, and that they're just as susceptible to temporary swings and misinformation as you or I were. You know. But yeah, we're probably going to trade the volatility. So, it looks like that the E-mini at the moment's not ready to move. We're going to have to wait for the open and see what they do. Treasury coming back up, though, kind of suggests to me everything is okay. Now, you kind of have to come back into, let's just assume for a moment that it's a Joe Biden presidency and a split Senate. Then does the market rally from here? Not so sure. Because there is some question here about what a fair valuation on the S&P 500 really is. And some of this downturn that we saw in the past, 2 weeks or so, I don't think was just entirely the election, On average, inflation GDP has grown back. I would just ignore those studies. They're nonsense. I've seen that with that study has been discredited so many times. I can't believe it still floats around. I tell you what, when you got the AOC basically running the Democrat Party, whatever the historical correlations are to GDP growth, and Democrats don't matter because it's a different party now, right? The party of Bill Clinton is dead, does not exist. Those liberals, you consider yourself a liberal, you're all in on human rights and all of those sorts of things. Like you were a Clinton voter, and you're happy about how well Clinton did. That party's dead, man. Doesn't exist anymore. So we just got a decent swing down there. In the presidential years, the market is up or down. Yeah, I don't know if it matters, but okay. Well, that one was looking okay, and it come back. I'm feeling kind of like, I don't know. Split Senate, Joe Biden presidency. I don't know. Like the thing is that the things that I'm concerned about right now are things that oh, you say two Trump is lost. Well, I'm not willing to go on air and say I think that Donald Trump is going to lose at this point, but because I'm still not sure that I have enough information to make that kind of a call. But I do think that he's going to lose here. But that's where I'm just kind of putting all these qualifiers. I'm like, like that's the market sentiment. I might be getting influenced by that, and we might be dead wrong about something. So I really can't go on the record on YouTube live saying that. Anyways, the things that I'm kind of more concerned about, like how we're dealing with China and getting into another war, and like maybe a war with Iran. Like those are all president things, you know. The Of course, there's a lot of stuff legislatively that I'm really don't like, but uh, does anybody expect Congress to do anything about that stuff anytime soon? No. I don't think that a Biden presidency would go as smooth as everybody wants it to be. I'll tell you that. I think that he would do a lot of things that he wants to do that would be like, ugh. Like just the regulations that the president can change is going to hurt some businesses for sure. And Biden that already happened a little bit ago. Steve pointing out that Biden pulled ahead in Michigan. So does that mean that they're counting the votes again? How long? But I don't. I mean, the thing is, they're going to be counting votes for like days. So I feel like that making some big call about the way that the race is going at the moment based off of that is kind of silly. They're going to tell me results from individual counties now all day. Like, noise. Treasuries are picking up again. They going to decide to come back to 139? Yeah. Looks like this one's a loser. Oh, jeez, really? I don't know what just happened there. Looks like the micros are too volatile to trade. You get stop runs like that. Michigan about to make this shit, but I don't know. Thought the market would be down over the Senate split? Hell no, why? Yeah, somebody was saying, "Oh, I thought that a split Senate would have the market down," but no, that's not the case. If it's a split Senate or a Republican plus one, I actually think it's going to be Republican plus one. That overall is good for the market because that means that the Democrats aren't going to be able to push through any of their really um, crazy policies, you know. So Grassfeed, I was thinking the immediate focus was on the next stimulus bill. Another thing that keeps coming to my mind is if Donald Trump really does lose, does he pardon Kenosha Kyle on his way out? And what's Brannigan saying here about, okay, the decline in the 10-year break-even rate is now the steepest since April. Yields on both nominal and linker bonds have been swinging wildly in the last 24 hours. Tips are less liquid than their nominal cousins, so it's always risky to read too much into intraday moves and break-evens. On the other hand, the decline like this is congruent with the diminished expectations for fiscal stimulus and growth. Well, so they'll make a deal, but it might be less than thought. Well, I'm going to respond to him here. Uh-huh. Mm-mm. Let's see here. Oh, sorry. What are you saying? How does that work? No pressure to change yet because they're gonna argue in court. He's never gonna think about that kid again. No, I think that he's gonna pardon him. You make big. Well, I traded on Sim and everything, and I'm not 100% happy with how I traded, but it came out positive in the end, I guess. Art Cashin, while there's still doubt as to who the president may be, I think the action is consistent with a sigh of relief that certainly in the case of the Senate, neither side will dominate, and therefore nothing terribly destructive is likely to occur. Yeah, except for, Biden selling us out to China, that might be a problem. Mm-mm. And that's what so the thing I'm worried about the most is Joe Biden will just, ruin all of the progress that we made with China. And I also kind of wonder, does China think that they successfully influenced the election? And there's also going to be this thing like, did suppressing the Hunter Biden story push the election towards Biden because it was that close? Did social media really control that's going to be a big question too. Not that Biden's going to do anything about it. Yeah, you can't suddenly quit counting votes in the only major swing Trump is winning, then have hundreds of thousands of votes drop in the middle of the night in an instant, with 99% going to Biden and still have election integrity. He's right. So they're talking, there was this situation where they saw a change in the overnight and it was all pro Biden. It was like, there's definitely going to be court cases about that. This is the thing, is the market might move on. The market might move on and there'll still be court cases about it. So Betfair now pricing 80% chance of Biden winning. Okay. Mm-mm. Hmm. Well, I'm kind of tempted to get in on this right now, but I'm going to wait for the open first. The rise in the treasuries is kind of interesting. I suppose would not be unreasonable to even go back up into the 139.5 area. Maybe not today, but let's just kind of see where that goes. I think that whole short probably is going to have to unwind a bit. Yeah, less stimulus with a divided government should mean more Fed stimulus, claims FX Macro. Maybe. I'm going to blow my nose here. I'm going to just move this over to here for a sec. Okay. So they're going to take profits on stock then. I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. I feel really unsure. That's why I'm like really quiet. Is I'm like, even though this is like the worst case scenario, the potential implications from it actually seem like the least interesting. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, is that a mosquito? Is that why I got that bad bite on my arm last night? Oh my gosh. Okay. Treasuries do kind of look like they're topping off there, but I'm not sure I want to be short in treasuries. The Democrats aren't going to get their stimulus, so. Okay, treasuries are coming off of that pretty quick, though. They probably hedge too, so that their hedges don't lose all their value. Maybe. Okay. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Initial move is a buy. Okay. Okay. That's getting a little wild now. All of a sudden, I mean, it looks biased to the upside, but that was getting like really wild there for a second. I don't know about that one, man. Let me just leave one of these out here just in case, because I don't want to like push my luck. In fact, I'm kind of thinking I should take that 20. Yeah. All right, come on. May oh my. It is furious order flow right there. It is biased to the long side on the cumulative delta still, but it's kind of tight. They're battling it out. There's just a lot of overall volume. Cool. Happy with that. Even if it goes. No, a little bit of a okay. So they're pushing up. They're good. Now the question is, how can they push 34.28 and above? At 8 o'clock, Biden is going to host an election protection briefing. One thing that I can see happening is everybody thinking that it's over, and then the lawsuits starting
Vlad
to fly
Stoyanov
too.
says, "Oh
That's
yeah,
like,
they gonna talk to OMG."
like I don't know. Like the thing is there's probably a lot of ballots that are being counted in Pennsylvania that shouldn't count. Like how many of those I actually received afterwards. I would like to know. Okay, so they ran into something there. I don't know if they're going to continue up or they're going to reverse here a little bit. Overall, the volume does look positive. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a little bit of an odd fight right there at 20.
Rob Farley says Biden JES went ahead in MI according to heat map.
Yeah. So again, that is going to flip back and forth quite a bit probably. They're saying that they're not going to be done counting votes for several days, so why would we be reading a lot into that heat map at the moment? Probability is that Donald Trump's going to lose, though. Or at least the betting markets think
Kevin
that Donald
Wimmer
Trump's
says, so
gonna
let's
lose.
assume Biden wins. Is it really that bullish for the market? Like, doesn't he want to increase taxes on companies like Amazon?
No.
Also, I mean, we climbed 200 points in the last 3 days.
So
Crazy.
not exactly, Kevin. By the way, I was thinking about you yesterday because we had a bunch of German guys come in, and I was like, oh, where's Kevin? So the answer is no, because in order to pass any of those laws, particularly the tax increases, the Democrats would also have to have control in the Senate, which they don't have. So you're not going to see any
Rob
laws
Farley
made.
says, good poem.
Like unless Joe Biden, well, I take that back. I bet you will see some laws. They'll be like the swampy kind of laws, the ones that all the corporations like, the things that the Democrats and Republicans agree on, and that everybody, the people like Donald Trump had been stopping. You'll probably
Winston's
see
mom
some of
says
those.
CNN saying Biden leads Wisconsin and Michigan and Trump leads Pennsylvania. Chris Christie says if Trump takes Pennsylvania, it's all over.
He's
I
wrong.
am not sure.
He's wrong because if Donald Trump takes Pennsylvania, he's still 2 votes short. He would need to take Nevada as well, or Arizona. Or he'd have to take. Now, I guess one point could be made that if he takes Pennsylvania, that he should have enough support to take one of the other states. I don't know about that one. Okay, so they made an okay move up, and now it's turning into turviness. This looks a lot like traders gonna trade. In other words, a lot of volatile trader movement in an area where we don't really have an edge. So let's just kind of hold up and see if maybe they take it to a spot where we do have an edge. But yeah, none of the really crazy damaging
Gary
laws
Rich says
can
go
get
long
passed.
healthcare. It's going to be one of the best sector in 2021.
Mm-hmm. If he loses, yeah, it's Wisconsin and Michigan, and those are like neck and neck still. Although it looks like that they're going to go. I would expect, based on the votes that are still going to be outstanding, that it's going to go to Biden. Okay, so there's the sell coming in. It's still not balanced cumulative delta-wise, but let's just let it play out. It's pretty good. One of the things is that you might get some swings that are just based on emotions and not, Like, there might be some people that just saw Donald Trump's going to win and they feel bad about it, and so they want to sell. Go long in healthcare. It's going to be, well, cool. I am actually had a healthcare stock that I was thinking about going into, maybe. Maybe if you message me on Discord later today, I'll show you the one that I'm thinking about. I don't know. I mean, I really like the company, but then I started looking at it and I'm like, I don't know if this one is very good. So maybe you have a better suggestion to replace it. I don't like talking about that on the stream because I don't want people to know which stocks I'm in. I don't want them to go up because I told people about it, I don't want to be a stock popularity influencer. I would love to talk about stocks more, but I don't want to be the stock guru pumping stocks, man. I'm in healthcare for work, though, so that's cool, I guess. Let's see how the Donald are holding in. I think they're probably going to be really unhappy right now. In the span of 42 minutes, Trump goes up 4 to a dead heat in Michigan. This is fishy as hell. Yeah, they all think that it's just BS. Of course they are. They're going to be mad. They're going to be so mad. Even Sarah Huckabee saying appointed Democrats push for vote by mail using COVID-19 as their excuses that it gives them endless opportunities for ballot harvesting, delay, and fraud. We're taking this to the Supreme Court because we don't want any more voting coming in or ballots being added at 4 o'clock in the morning. Dems pour 100K ballots into Michigan without a single vote counted for Trump at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, they're calling
Kevin
that
Rimmer
one out.
Says it just looks funny. Dow up 0.26% and Nasdaq up 3%. Vlad Stolyarov says keep eye on VIX. Vlad Stolyarov says minus 12%.
The red state calls the election for Trump. No way Biden can pull ahead in Michigan or Pennsylvania, even with fraud. I don't know about that one. I stayed up to track the election returns so you wouldn't have to. Wisconsin. Michigan, apparently, helping Trump. It's pretty transparent. The goal was to leave enough votes uncounted to prevent any media outlet from calling Pennsylvania. That might be the reality. Maybe it is that Donald Trump is going to win Pennsylvania, and they just didn't want it to get called. Forces a recount. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of weird because the thing is like there's like the expected result right now, which is that Biden will win and the Senate will be split. But then there's also going to be lawsuits. So like,
Bot says good morning all.
how does the market react and deal with that?
Live Action
don't
says
know.
again they find ballots in garbage, this time Arizona.
Oh, really?
Kevin Wimmer says, do you think any Republican would support a Democratic tax plan? Didn't Susan Collins, Mitt Romney and
No.
I think one other person vote with Democrats on other issues?
No, there's no way that they would do it. There's no way that any Republican would repeal any of those.
Vlad Stolyarov says TSLA faded gap up.
Vlad
Stolyarov says 0.5% TSLA.
But it's not just that, Kevin. In the Senate, to really pass anything, you have to be able to vote for cloture, which means you need 60%. Pennsylvania's going to do a news conference, apparently. Anyways, you need to pass through the filibuster, and that's not going to happen. So they won't be able to get a majority. They certainly won't be able to get a filibuster-proof majority. So any significant legislation that the Democrats want, like repealing all the tax cuts, like this insane, what do we call it? This absolutely insane financial transaction tax, they're not going to happen. So all of that stuff we can safely ignore now. The thing that we have to think about are the things that the president has control over. Okay. So these are the sorts of things that I would be concerned
says market
about.
Celebration of no blue wave.
Day one, Joe Biden changes all of the rules for asylum qualifications and how asylums are handled and processed, and the southern border will get flooded. That is a pretty, if Joe Biden really is going to win here, that is a pretty clear the conclusion that we can make, is that there will be a second, or I guess we could call it a third border crisis again. Okay. That's going to happen. All of this stuff with China, Joe Biden is just going to completely drop it. That's going to happen. Those are the things that I would be looking at. So the things that the president can control, yeah, Joe Biden's just going to undo all of Donald Trump's work on those fronts. Americans, I think, are going to be really upset when they see, like, Donald Trump had kind of solved the border crisis, and then if Joe Biden, like, undoes it all, they're going to be livid. Okay, so a little bit of a bounce, but kind of struggling here. Is that actually kind of really interesting price action, don't you think? Like, it's really volatile, but it's not going anywhere yet. It doesn't seem like they know what to think. Market celebration of no
Vlad
blue wave.
Stolyarov says
so.
gold is best.
How?
Gary Rich says they will repeal Trump tax cuts. It's that simple.
How?
Kevin Wimmer says it's so thin, lol.
They can't pass the filibuster. They won't be able to do it.
Vlad Stolyarov says 1900 GC. Vlad Stolyarov says in middle now.
Are you saying that you're going to get 10 Republicans in on repealing the Trump tax cuts? You're kidding me, right?
Vlad Stolyarov says can lose on gold, can't win.
The result of a split Senate is no major legislation is going to get passed for the next 4 years.
Gary Rich says, dude, are you smoking crack?
Are you smoking crack? Listen, it's I made an argument here. Come back at me with an argument, or don't talk. How are you going to get 10 Republicans to vote for a tax repeal? Like, seriously, could any Republican get reelected if they repeal those tax cuts? There's no fucking way, dude. They're not going to vote on that. There's no way. Any Republican that votes positive on that sort of a thing or votes for cloture, that's the end of their career. They would get primary. They would lose. They wouldn't be a senator anymore after their next election. There's no way that under that kind of pressure that they're going to get 60.
Live Action says, Seth, I have to side with you on that one.
Thanks, Live Action. Maybe you have an argument. I'll go wait, see if you have a good argument to come back with. Okay, back up above the open.
Kevin Wimmer says, can they switch parties? Like afterwards being Democrat?
Yeah, I suppose.
Gary Rich says that Trump tax cuts will sunset soon. Read the bill.
So I did get my little error and it printed it out, but it didn't keep. Okay, the Trump tax cuts will sunset. So you're right. Some will. Some do, I believe. The ones dealing with corporate taxes, no, though. Right? Let's see. You're right on that. Mm-hmm. If the Tax Cuts and Job Act sunset without action,
Live Action says, Gary SNAP. Forgot reading the bill angles, smiley face. Gary Rich says, Seth, I can articulate politics far greater than you. I actually read these stupid bills. So you are smoking crack when it comes to politics.
They're not going to pass the bill,
says,
though.
why so choppy? ARRRGGGGGHHHHHH.
Listen, first of all, declarations of your awesomeness do not influence me at all. Seriously, the dumbest thing that you could possibly say to me is, I'm so smart and I know things better than you. I don't give a fuck what you think about yourself. Give an argument or shut the fuck up. I told myself I wasn't going to swear. Well, I'm going to swear at you, man. Like, geez. Make arguments. I don't care who you think you are or who you really are or how good your analysis is. You have to prove that your analysis is correct by using facts and logic. Okay? So, are they going to pass a repeal? No. Not a chance. No bills are going to get passed. Will some provisions sunset? Possible, yes. Okay. But if you're saying that they're going to pass a bill to repeal or increase taxes, it's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to pass any bills. Why is it so choppy? Because the market doesn't know what to do about it. Philadelphia City Commissioner still talking. Yeah, trader's going to trade. I'm sure that there's a lot of just like the thing is, I'm not hearing clicks. There are clicks in here. Why am I not? Chirp, downwave. Oh, is it because I don't have? No. Oh, okay. I was saying I was not hearing a lot of clicks, but there was one. So if I'm not hearing a lot of clicks, then it suggests that the large players are not really actively involved here. Well, you're saying if they don't renew the bill, it dies. So that's why I said there are some provisions that will sunset, yes. But those are primarily for individuals, from what I recall. I mean, I didn't read the whole freaking bill. That's like a fucking 1,000-page document, but I think it was like those tax cuts for individuals. Now, couple tax increase after sunset. Okay, I don't know. I mean, it's possible that they might try to extend those. Also, well, so here's another thing: is that those don't sunset until 2025, right? Whoa, hold up. Trump tax cuts. The individual tax cuts set to expire at the end of 2025. Oh, so it gets even more complicated than that, doesn't it? Because the Republicans still have a chance, to retake the presidency before those sunset. That's interesting. Smart. They were thinking when they set that date. They were thinking. So, there you go. Marco Rubio taking days not to count legally cast votes is not frauds, and court challenges to votes cast after legal voting deadline is not suppression. Thank you, Marco. You are correct. AZ early AM update: Maricopa County overnight was a pickup of 50,000 votes for Trump. Biden is now up 90K with 520K ballots out there. A 60-40 Trump split of those ballots would put Trump ahead by 10K. Trump has been winning the count 60-40 or better since late last night. So, oh man. So let's just put aside the Republican pessimism that Democrats will find any way that they need to steal this. That's a Trump win if that guy is correct, and Arizona does go to Trump, and Pennsylvania goes to Trump as well. And that one's a big question, right? But it's kind of funny to me that we really are getting like the worst case scenario in terms of like a contested election, because it looks like they're going to have to contest it. And the market's not freaking out about it, It's like, oh, actually a contested election is not as big of a deal as we thought. Maybe if people start rioting and killing each other, then they'll think differently. Okay, I need to drink some water, so I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Let's see here. In the next 2 weeks, the first vaccine trials will show. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. That's a good point. Yeah, OPEC. Oh, man. Oil. Good luck for you oil traders, man. Because they really are getting like really a real delusion. Because not only got all of this election volatility that was affecting them, but then there's all of this question about oil supply too. Okay, well, they're coming out. Oh, that's right. Okay. So I'm just noticing that overall the indications of large players is pretty light. Okay, we're getting some news. And it appears positive. Slightly. These are the market PMIs. ISM manufacturing, non-manufacturing business activity 61.2 versus expected 62, and non-manufacturing PMI 56.6 versus an estimated 57.5. So then why are they moving like that? I don't know. That's interesting. Well, that's interesting. I'm going back to bed. That might be a good idea. I am not seeing indications of significant institutional activity. Jamie Dimon urges patience for election results and faith in U.S. systems. I do too. Listen, if the Democrats are trying to steal the election, then the Republicans will, challenge it in court, and the Supreme Court will make the correct call. That is really quite odd. The only thing we did on election day was tell them how many votes they needed on election night. Yeah, MAGA is not going away. Trump campaign is to host a press call with campaign officials at 9:55. So that's already happening. Amy, no, we don't care about that. ECB Schnabel talking. Who is goading about how he posted that Joe Biden is winning and that went viral on social media? Okay. Glenn Greenwald, you have an incumbent president with a massive recession, an unemployment, rent, and foreclosure crisis, and an out-of-control pandemic, and this is what the Democrats are able to do with it. When will the time come when the self-critique of Dem ideology will be warranted? Thank you, Glenn Greenwald. I do think that the one positive thing that might come out of this is that Democrats might rethink some of the insane crap that they've been going on about. Granted, they could have picked Pete Buttigieg, and it probably wouldn't have even been close. I'm just saying. And is Joe Biden really only going to run for one term? Are we going to have primaries in both the Democrats and the Republicans next time? That'll be crazy. Donald Trump tweets, last night I was leading, often solidly in many key states. In almost all instances, Democrat run and controlled. Then, one by one, they started to magically disappear as surprise ballot dumps were counted. Very strange, and the pollsters got it completely and historically wrong. Exclamation point, Donald Trump tweeting. Okay. Market moving higher. New highs. Is that overnight highs too? Yeah. That's good. A little bit of a sweep there. Oh, look at that. You see them, he smacked it down and stuck a big order, and then they took him, huh? They're like, no, we want to buy it. Stepien says Wisconsin is in recount territory. That's Donald Trump's campaign manager. Michigan's still like a 0.3% difference. And Donald Trump speaking quite defiantly. Trump claims surprise ballot dumps are behind lead changes. Is Zero Hedges take? So, oh my. ISM services employment for 250 spot 1 from 51 spot 8 combined with the ADP earlier. That's a red flag for Friday's non-farms payroll report, says Forex Live. Good point. And Donald Trump tweeting about this, but the market's moving up. It appears on momentum, and like I said, I'm still not seeing indications of like really big players coming in here. I would be careful about this. Maybe they just continue up. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be crazy, would it? Not at all. Not even really to 34.60. What about the VIX? Rip short here, not going to fight. Yeah, I mean, I would like to go short, but not when it's doing that. Target above us is 34.42. Oh, they're right at it. And then beyond that, it's 74. Okay. And what about this over? Oh, yeah, we're well above it. Okay. Gonna chase it a little. Come on. All right. That's what I wanted right there. Okay. Better. It's coming down quite nicely. So this is kind of an interesting situation because we got like, I'm just realizing that some economic news is actually looking kind of negative. And the contested election scenario is definitely still playing out. So how can it be a positive? Well, there's a lot of reasons to be positive, but when I look at the positioning and everything, I think that that's a pretty good short setup. So we did get 40 out of it. Do I want to hold for more? I think so. I think I want 18. So yeah, I'm seeing some longs fighting in an area that I don't think is advantageous for them. And the delta is coming down quite a bit from here. Treasury is going to take a step higher here. Now they could. They're not as far off as they seem from the DOM, but because of the range that we've been pushing today, basically. Trump not happy, but not as aggressive as feared. Okay. Why we keep our trade tactics mechanically consistent. Okay. Tasty Trade says. Oh, wait, they have a link. What's the link? That's a video. I'll watch that later. Okay. A little bit of a down move, but still kind of just not running. Okay. A little flood of volume there. Look like they're going to push the high again, yeah. Yeah. And bide our time here a little bit. Oh, okay. Oh, I was like way late on the draw there on that one. Some real stickiness to it. After that, a big old order showing up there too, 500. Zero Hedge says, beware gridlock, they said. A split presidency Congress would lead to a 20% drop in stocks, they said. I don't know. Maybe this does eventually turn down, who knows. tighter than it seems, doesn't it? Like when I have the order out there, they're able to hold the spots, and when I don't, it's like, oh look, we're just gonna stop through everything. All 125K ballots found going to Biden think there's some shenanigans going on. Yeah, I don't know, man. That one sure does seem shifty, but I mean, I have to hear about the ballot, and I don't know. Maybe they split it out, and these are all the Biden ones, and they'll count the Trump ones in later, and then it'll come out and it'll balance out or something. Like, who knows? I'm gonna leave that to Donald Trump, man. I don't think that he needs me to be sitting here pointing out every possible conspiracy theory or odd thing that we think is going on. It's just going to cause us a bunch of anxiety, you know? Mm. The Biden campaign manager thinks that not only is he going to win all of those states, but that he's going to win them by margins better than Trump did in 2016. And they expect that they will have confirmed more than 270 electoral votes today. So that must be why this is not working out. Hmm. Yeah, a bunch of people are like, I can't believe that I had contested election as a cell. This is going to be all sorts of bizarre stuff in it. Well, I thought I had a good short, but clearly that one didn't work out. Now they've pushed quite a bit further now, good 10 points further than that. This is looks like quite extreme. The actual cumulative delta is not increasing a whole lot through here, which is kind of odd with the way that they're pushing it. How come every time they count mail-in ballot dumps, they are so devastating in their percentage and power of destruction? Man, let's just shut up, dude. That's Donald Trump. They're tweeting that. 3,500. That would be, well, 35 and like 94 or something is like the 7% limit. Yeah, man, this is like the way it keeps ranging up in there. Like, watch, as soon as I take it, that's gonna be the one where they dump. I'm not willing to give this a very long leash. This is an area where I guess I shouldn't expect to have much edge. Maybe I should just sit on hands. The Trump campaign manager says if we count legal ballots, then we'll win. I still kind of feel like this rally is a little bit overdone, but I need to see something more, I think. Maybe is the VIX coming down here? Man, it's just not stopping. This is getting kind of like a little wild. Wish could trade the Mendes. I don't know. This just kind of seems all like a little weird, huh? I don't feel like anything that's happening is real all of a sudden. Like, okay. This like a, I don't know. I don't. It's real. I don't. They're just really pushing there, man. Well, they could go to 73. I don't know. This is another one where they kind of got dashed down there. I don't know, man. All right. So what does that put us at after all that? Oh, yeah, that was bad, actually. I didn't realize it was that many. All right. No, we're still kind of. I'm still kind of feeling short, even though I don't know if that last one was enough to stop the momentum for them to get up to 73, though. There's the Treasury's 139. Okay. I must be really dehydrated because my lips are really chapped. The euphoria coming off now. That was a much stronger sell. So they look incredibly overextended, man. And like I said, I'm sitting here like looking at, okay, ADP doesn't look good from a couple of indications that we have. Stimulus not going to be as big as you want. You're not going to get all of this stimulus, all this stuff. This is really actually good for the market. I don't know. Hard for me where I'm at to really game all of that out, isn't it? Okay, so how do I feel about that? What just happened there? It looks like retail defended their stops. That's kind of interesting. A little sticky there. I'm gonna try one. Okay. I guess we're gonna get crude oil inventories here in a minute. Okay, I'm not even going to bother reading all of those numbers out for oil, but looks like they're moving up. McCarthy to hold a press conference at 12:30 Eastern Time. 2 hours from now. Oy, that's far. Tom Cotton, the best is yet to come. Since 1900, there's never been a session of Congress with a Democratic president, a Republican Senate, and a Democratic House. Really? Oh, really? That's weird. I wonder, though, if in the midterms the Republicans make a lot of gains, because I think that the midterms favor the Republicans anyways, and then if they don't have Trump weighing them down on the ballot, that maybe it could be really positive for Republicans. Especially if they don't like what Biden's doing on things like the border and stuff. That's the one that's really going to that's the one that's really going to cause chaos. Bill O'Reilly, I'm no conspiracy guy, but why can't these states count their votes? The longer this stuff goes on, the credibility our vote gets much worse. That kills our country. Amen, Bill. Amen, Bill. Treasury's coming down here. That's curious. How we doing over here, guys? Oh, there's lots of people watching today. Thank you for watching. Click that like button. I appreciate it. Kind of looks like they want to turn back up again. I don't know if they can do it. Let's see. Has any of these changed? 95% now. Still haven't started. They only just started counting 30 minutes ago in Pennsylvania, huh? Okay, well, they're just like right on the edge of those stops. That's why it's. So you got kind of like this ATR stop is something that like it seems like the market cares about a lot. You can't really predict where it's gonna go on it, but like there tends to be like strain just like this right here. See, like, so if this closes below it, then it seems like some robots flip around. And then that's like a pullback. So then I don't know if they go up for a new high or not, or if, yeah, okay, so that's a pullback. I don't know if they go for a new high or not, or if they continue down. My positioning suggests that they're going to continue back down and that they're still way too high. So I guess I hold it all the way down there, man. I don't know. I don't know. Wisconsin Republican Governor Scott Walker. After recount in 2011 race for Wisconsin Supreme Court, there was a swing of 300 votes. After the recount in the presidential race in Wisconsin, Donald Trump's numbers went up by 131. 20,000 is a high hurdle. They're not done counting. Is it really going to be 20,000? Suggesting, though, that a recount isn't going to help in Wisconsin. I'm Wisconsin and Michigan just to look really doubtful, don't they? I expect Biden to address the American people today. Okay. So this turn back down is starting to look pretty quick, isn't it? Yeah. So I've had this happen to me a bunch of times. I should really have that order out there just in case. Because when they touch that area, sometimes it's really fast. An update gives Biden 100% of new votes. Yeah, that one is just like what? Well, and that's where it's like in Wisconsin. It's like, okay, the margin is 20,000, and we had an instance where there was 100,000 votes given to Biden and not one was to Trump. Like what? How does that work? It's kind of funny how when you look at it, it really ends up being a loser for everyone in politics, doesn't it? Well, the only ones that I think really gain here are um, establishment Republicans, I guess. Goldman's U.S. head of SPACs sees investors getting indigestion. Yep. So Kudlow's saying he expects to work on the deal, quote unquote, during the lame duck session, as we were speculating earlier. So a little bit of a turn here, I think, would be reasonable. Take it off here, or we could wait for our full target. And he says Kudlow's not concerned about the ongoing counting. Good for you, dude. Now, Paul Krugman thinks that the polling error is really just the post office being disrupted. Oh, okay. Okay. Bit of a fight there. Okay, I'm out on that one. That takes me positive by about $30, just a little shy of 30. Not too sure. I mean, I have a reason to believe that it's still going to go down into the 34 area, but it was giving me a little bit too much fight in that area, and I'm feeling shy. Focused, quiet, of course. I'm just kind of like, That rally that we just had, I thought was a little ridiculous. Yeah. How does that make the volume profile look now after that? I don't know, man. I'm really concerned that what you're gonna get is like some big move off of the. Let's say that they just determined for whatever reason that the election was a positive thing for the markets, and then Friday comes along and they just get smacked. You know what I mean? How many times have we seen that? Where like we're looking for a Fed meeting, for instance, is like really really important, and then we move up off of that Fed meeting, and then 2 days later we retrace it and we move lower, and it turns out that the Fed meeting wasn't important at all. It was just something that we had to get over with. You know, I'm starting to get that kind of a setup here, which means ADP on Friday it will be really big deal. Hyping up ADP for y'all. That's what's going on. Treasuries coming off of that peak there a little bit. I need to keep my eye on Twitter. We are headed for election litigation. Many predicted it. Awful for the country. Too many late votes in play. Best analysis on Bill O'Reilly. You know, Bill, you used to not see Bill tweet very much, but now he is. Vlad says no edge. No. If they're not going to go down to the 34 to 34, I'm kind of like, okay. I mean, eventually at some point they can touch the line. It's just like, when are they going to do it? Who knows? 6 other races remain undecided this morning. I suppose there is still a possibility that these late votes come in and are pushed to the Senate, and the Democrats do take the Senate, and then all of a sudden, like, a really negative scenario comes in. It is not clear whether a COVID-19 aid stimulus bill would be attached to a government funding bill. Okay. USPS can confirm we completed the required sweeps for ballots last night. I don't know. This is a lot of like what I said in my video about this. Will markets crash if Biden wins? Where I was like, you know, you might get an initial move off of one thing, but then that's not like the final answer. And probably we need to wait a few days. It doesn't look to me like that the markets think that a Joe Biden presidency is explicitly negative. As long as there's, they can't pass laws in Congress. So we shall see. What's this? Probability of each candidate based on FTX markets. Oh, okay. I don't know. Joe Biden pulling ahead though. That must be the betting market. Forbes stocks are increasing despite election uncertainty, but here's what could really hurt stocks today. I'm kind of sitting here like, I don't know if this buy is like a little cautious about just running with this long. Especially when they just plowed through like really significant levels, like with wanton. They just went for it, you know. The spot fix dropped 7 handles. November dropped 3 handles. Massive volatility collapse. Yeah. So I guess the thing is that it's kind of funny because the worst case scenario happened, but it's like the VIX is saying that the worst case scenario isn't actually as bad as we thought. Like they're realizing that even a contested election is not like the end of the world. You know, if there was like a civil war, then maybe we could be falling, right? Maybe the market will collapse like last time with George. Well, I'm a little let's see here. December is relatively high for this environment, meaning the future VIX along the curve. Paul Krugman is such a hack. I am a little concerned that like some of the short-term economic data is going to matter more to the markets in the coming weeks, and I'm not entirely sure if that information it comes out positive for the markets. And especially when you consider all of the valuations and what happened with tech stocks last week and all that, So I don't know. It's like right now all we can see is the election, and now I'm starting to look ahead, and I'm like, oh, guys, are we sure that we just want to do nothing but buy this up today? Because there's a couple of reasons why this ain't settled. Okay. Mark Sherman, I've been making calls to the House Republicans too. Emmer is going to win in a walk. Tough to see any incumbent member of leadership lose after the night they just had. I'm told NRCC, I think that's the National Republican Committee Chair, Tom Emmer, has been making calls to members of the GOP conference all morning and is locking up support to serve another term. It seems likely Emmer gets elected to NRCC chair again after the GOP exceeded expectations last night. Okay. The Hills Cruisel tweets new USPS data appears to show a failure to deliver mail ballots from voters across the country on Election Day. Huh. Oh. Oh, you mean all of us that were concerned about our ballots actually getting there if we went in the mail had reason to be skeptical about it, even though the news spent all of this time and effort telling us that it was okay and that mail-in balloting was totally safe? Huh. Oh, that's a shocker. Donald Trump's surprise showing in a cliffhanger presidential election is proving a relief to Iranian stocks. Oh, jeez. Okay. When I see huge IPOs or SPACs around the world, rates also low, higher everything. Not sure if this is a prepare for a blow off top like scenario. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to make a prediction about the direction of the market. Just that the degree of movement at the moment appears to be far too one-sided for what the situation actually is. What a real joke is Penn taking mail-in ballots without postmarks. Did they really? They should be disqualified. Listen, if it's, I mean, man, I don't know if it matters, but I would really like to see the law followed, Like they need to stop giving them all this leeway. The Supreme Court needs to come in and say, hey, the law says that they have to be postmarked by a certain date, and a mail-in ballot comes in and it's not postmarked, then it doesn't count. Period. Otherwise, nobody can trust the process. You gotta follow the rules, man. CNBC needs to pump this market. I don't know. Maybe. Really get a little move up there. I think what might be like a. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Kind of see a potential for a double top. I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, but by the time they come back to my line, it might be like 10 o'clock. So might be a while. Yeah, no riots today. That's great. What? The mail-in ballots in California, people actually disinfected them, which changed the barcode on the ballot? What? How does that change the barcode? Yeah. Gold is kind of all over the place today. I was just seeing somebody on Twitter talk about that. Let's see something going on in the 30-year. What's this? Let's reset here. Let's check something. Democrats flipped 2 seats, but the GOP took 1 back. Dems need a gain of 3 or 4 seats to win the majority. So Democrats are only +1 at the moment, right? And that was this one in Colorado. And I'm surprised. So Maine is coming in closer now. And then Arizona, they lost. But there's still this one, North Carolina, Tillis. Okay. That's the one that changes it from -1 to even, right? AOC slams Democrats for not putting in enough effort with Latino voters, and FX Micro says, I think the problem was the Latino community not crazy about BLM. I think a lot of people are not crazy about BLM, but a lot of people bought into the narrative that it was just Donald Trump and that if we get rid of Donald Trump, there's rioting. So here's the thing. If there is any kind of rioting from the far left in the next 2 years, it's going to destroy the Democrat Party. Because you got rid of Donald Trump and they're still rioting. You know what I mean? Yeah, a pretty good move up there and kind of screwing around with the ATR again. I actually could have taken, it's probably a little bit too late, but I could have taken a little tepid short there. You think fade oil at 40? You think it's going to get to 40 today, dude? Oh, my mom texted me. I didn't even see that. I get these text messages from them late. Oh, Trump, I need you. The left will try to steal this election. They still want donations. They must be in debt or something. I don't know. I thought that after today, that all of those annoying text messages from Trump would go away. But I guess not. You think gold's going to move up? Well, I don't know. I have to say, considering how far the treasuries have come up, it is a little curious that gold has not moved much at all. I mean, well, it's moved, but it's unchanged in the end. It just came back to where it was. Moved a ton and came back to where it was. It's taking time getting there, but if this overhead breaks, it might spike. Yeah, but that's like a whole $1.30 up. That's way up there. Well, okay. You guys know more about oil than I do, so. Now, I find this fall, like pretty extensive fallback, by the way, in treasuries to be intriguing. Eric Trump says, we will win Arizona. They really feel confident that they're going to win Arizona, don't they? I don't know, man. Arizona, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump wins. It could still happen. Like, we're all like assuming that Donald Trump lost here, but he could still win. I don't have enough information to really know. That's getting weird. So are the Trump supporters like still having hope, or do they? Well, man, there's a lot of comments on that last tweet of his. Virginia subtracting 100K votes for Biden due to an error. What? Well, that ain't gonna make any difference. Oh, jeez. I think they're saying that there's still over like 1 million ballots to count in Pennsylvania. Jeez. 1.4 million ballots to count. What? Well, S&P's kind of threatening highs. We shall see. We shall see. Reset it right there. If Trump loses, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's the case. If the Democrats had taken the Senate, then I think that the stock market would be crashing. I mean, I explained this in my video where I talked about the possibilities, but yeah, it's really the chances of nuking the filibuster and everything. That's the scenario where like it really hurts the markets. I think that in the end, that even just a Joe Biden presidency alone is going to be a negative drag on the markets. But you know, there could be other things that counter that, so it could still move up. And even if we do say that it is a negative and the markets are going to go down, I think it's going to take them a while to realize it. Like everybody will conclude that Biden winning was good for the stock market, and then later on it will crash. You know what I mean? So my mom's texting me here. She must want to know what the... Oh, that's not my mom. It's work. We may have to end here. Let's see. Oh, yes. Gotcha. Okay. We're good. We're good. Eric Trump retweeting the Andy Swan tweet where they said the only thing we did on election day was tell them how many votes they needed. Is this good for a bit? Well, where is Bitcoin gone? Not really anywhere. This is where it's like, if this is good for Bitcoin or not, like, who knows? Because the people that trade Bitcoin certainly don't. Oh, man. Donald Trump team getting ready to send in attorneys, contest remaining states. He won't concede with these numbers. They are telling Fox Business, good chance we won't know president for another month. Still, odds are long for Trump winning, they add. This from Charlie Gasparino. This is from Moynihan. I guess Moynihan doesn't have his own Twitter account. Did I see a couple of 500 block? I don't have a tape. Let's see. So something I would point out is that the large institutional activity that does not actually appear there. You know, like just like a lot of really big limit orders, bouncing it around and making moves and stuff. There's not been a ton of that. We come back and look, and granted, a lot of it I canceled out because I had an error or something, but I wanted to rename these columns so you could see what they were. But you can see here this top one, the large orders. Are they really there? Not really. There was one when we were coming back down, and then that was pretty much it. So I'm still kind of in the position of I don't 100% trust that the stock market, anything the stock market says right now is correct. I think it's going to take them time to figure it out. Hmm. What is that? Okay, so Tommy says market does not care in the long run. The statistics say that a bear or did you mean a bear market is around the corner? 3 months, maybe a little Christmas bull, and then it's over? Is that what you're trying to say? The VIX curve looks like a ride at a Disneyland roller coaster. Did you move into a different? Has it been that long? No, I didn't move into a different room. I have lights back there. The lights used to be a little bit more aqua colored, but something's wrong. I guess having them on so much like must have melted the circuit board in it or something because the remote doesn't completely change the colors correctly anymore. They need a better one. I'm wondering if I can get so I have a light right here. And that one was just like a little light, and I said, "Oh, maybe later I'll put a fan in it." But I don't think that a fan would make sense because it just bounce off of it. So now I'm thinking, well, I could put another track light up there. But maybe this one I could, instead of putting a track light, I could just turn that into a power outlet and hang more studio lights from there. And then I could hang some studio lights that, put that a color, and that would be a little bit better. Okay, Tommy says, excuse me, English. Yes, okay, I get you. Well, I'm not sure I particularly see that, but I am still, as I have been for some time, a little bit skeptical about the everything's great and it's just the stocks only go up mentality. The valuations just don't make sense to me. Will Biden get better results in the suburbs in Pennsylvania and Michigan, which could be crucial to the final outcome? Read more here. Probably he would, I would think, yeah. Trump getting ready to contest remaining states, says report, of course. Let's see here. Ed Morrissey. Retweeting Sean Truax. Never heard of him. Probably the best analysis so far, a squeaky win by either leaves both open to accusations of being illegitimate, and the condition of Congress doesn't help. That said, a thought came to mind. If it ends up Biden, do you think he would attempt to work out deals with both? He might, actually. You sound pessimistic. I mean, I think I'm pessimistic, but I don't feel pessimistic because I can't look at the stock market and say like, oh, I think it's going down. That don't make much sense with the with the action. I don't want to use the word price action, but with the way the tape is moving, that's kind of seems silly to say. It's just like the market valuations don't make much sense to me. It's kind of sticky both ways here, actually. Yeah, this is looking good. Oh, what? Freaking hate it when that shit happens. Did you see that stop run? like collapse of 2 points, and then it immediately flips back up to where it was, and you're not filled because it stopped right where your limit order was. Ugh. That's hilarious. And it was literally right on that line, 34, 48, 50 for the average true range stop again. Because of an error in data feed of results, estimate of counted vote in Arizona displaying on maps and tables is too high, New York Times reports. Actual estimate is that 86% of the vote has been counted. Whereas, okay, well, mine says 84, so whatever. Zero hedge. A disputed election is bad for stocks. Legislative gridlock is bad. Wrong. Legislative gridlock is good for stocks, but the combination of the two is great for stocks? No, I don't think so. The combination of the two, I guess I don't know, because this is market. The thing is I guess the market is suggesting that it's good for stocks, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it. You know what? The indictment of oh yeah, this has been going. Defendant Hayes, Dello, and Reed are notorious fraudsters who have been criminally charged with felony money laundering related offenses by the Department of Justice, and two of whom are currently fugitives from U.S. law enforcement. Attached heretofore as Exhibits A and B are true and correct copies of announcements of the CFTC and Department of Justice against the defendants. Defendant Hayes publicly admitted to bribery of foreign government officials and bank fraud, and even expressed pride in his criminal actions. Did that really freaking happen? Do you start trading before or after the previous election? Well, I recall starting to trade before the election, but I don't recall if I had well, let's go search. Maybe I can find out. Okay. I no. Wait. Election day 2016 was November 8th. Oh, really? Well, according to Jigsaw's records, I bought Jigsaw a week before the last election, but I do not recall watching the market reaction on election night. No, I don't remember that. And I certainly wasn't streaming by that time, right? That didn't happen until like May of 2017. Well, it wasn't even that. May was when I started recording, and then it wasn't until November, or sorry, it wasn't until December that I started streaming it live. Wow, time flies. Well, yeah, it sure seems like it, huh? It's been years now, Eric Cages. We've known each other years. All of you guys. I think it's almost been a year since Win has been around. Gary Rich has been around about as long as Air Cages, I think. John before all of you. I don't know if I would have done it if it wasn't for John. The channel, that is. Yeah. Javon says your mom's texting because she heard you throwing the F-bomb at Gary Rich. It makes me mad when I gotta tell you, like, when people try to use their try and use appeal to authority as an argument and what should be a logical argument, it really makes me mad. This is why I'm always getting so livid on the freaking trading subreddits, man. Let's go and look at that. I don't know if there's anything interesting over on there. I just all the time I read stuff on that subreddit that just is like, no, that's like so not true. And sometimes maybe it's just my opinion, for sure. That happens a lot. But there's a lot of cases where like I've like back tested it. I can show you stats and what they're saying is objectively not true. Somebody wants to trade futures in South Africa. That's cool. It's been since the night I found you live streaming the 2018. Was it 2018? It's been a while. I had no idea you were a day trader, and for a while it was just you and I chatting. I showed up at your boys' clubhouse the next morning. That's right. Because you came in during the debate, and we were just chatting during the debate, and then you came in the next day, and it was like, it was like a normal day. Here's a new idea. Don't read that stuff. Choking on my own spit. Here's the thing, Gary. I care. I really do. I think I'm getting asthma from that. It's okay. I'm okay. Oh, I didn't realize Ace was still here. And it's been probably almost a year or two since Ace, too. Time really does fly. I feel like a Godfather impression. I feel like that this year went really fast because I can still remember like yesterday streaming and talking about how a pandemic would be short-lived, you know? I tell you what, sometimes I'm very right, but sometimes I'm very, very wrong. It's been a long time since I've choked on my own spit like that, but we're good. Okay. Here's the thing, Gary. I care. I do. Because they're my people, and that's my thing. And I kind of feel like, to some extent, that's my edge. Like, the edge is having contact with a lot of other traders and being able to pick up on, you know, what a large number of people are thinking and doing. And of course, I think that the edge that helps me the most is my ability to analyze afterwards, right? So going in and testing things and finding out this technical setup doesn't actually work, even though people think it does. Looking at my own performance, you know, to find things that are going to be more favorable to us, and that has allowed me to develop a model, both a model for positioning, which is really cool, but then also just kind of a model of how the overall market works so that I can decide when things matter and when they don't and stuff. So that's the big one. But so then the place where I think I'm weak is in the discovery. It's like, okay, like where's the new trade that I can think about or that I can look at? And I don't necessarily just have ideas every day about some new kind of area of investigation that I can go through, right? Right now I'm reading scholarly articles. That's where I'm getting it. So being able to speak to a lot of people really helps in that area, right? So I do care, and I read almost everything that gets posted there, actually. And you know what? Like, it's true. Like, there's a lot of stupid stuff there. Like, most of what gets posted there is total nonsense. But every once in a while, you find something. And overall, I do think it helps the channel, and overall, I think it helps our edge. So I do care. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. Well, it doesn't look like there was any more development on that one thread that what was going into. In fact, not all that much being posted in the trading subreddits. No. What happens? You know what? I like to do this thing where, well, not. I used to like to do a thing where you kind of let the water sit in the back of your throat, so you can kind of feel it, the cool in the back of your throat before you swallow it. So I've kind of gotten into this. Sometimes I'll be drinking and I'll breathe in. So that's like straight up what happened is I just breathed in some water there. Mm-mm. Even though I knew there would be no conclusion after last night, I can't shake this horrible election anxiety today. I feel almost hungover, stiff-necked from staring at my phone for 2 or 3 hours on and off, 3 dumps already this morning. Headache, might as well have some drinks like I planned. Yeah. You know, like I said, everybody wants to make a big conclusion right away. There's an idea in the market that I disagree with, and so you're just going to have to put it on a theory and admit that the majority of market participants think that I'm wrong. But I believe that in some cases, the market is extremely inefficient and it can take a long time for them to actually price things in. And I think that it's going to take several days, if not weeks, for the markets to really truly realize what the impact that this election will have on the markets. And everybody trying to make a conclusion about it today is just kind of like, I think that today we did the right thing. I wish that I hadn't faded it quite as much, but yeah, that was a crazy move. Whatever, it worked out. We came out plus 50. Yeah, I did good on these trades too. I didn't do it with martingaling. In fact, the one martingale was this minus 35 one, which was fine. Oh, well, I mean, it ended up being bad. The only reason that I ended up with double orders, though, was because I was trying to work my way into a position. And I wasn't getting the prices that I wanted. So, this is just like just sit and be present. This is like a time, I think, like practice mindfulness, right? Which I'm not good at. Extroverted sensing is a perceiving function that focuses on real-world tangible data. SE users focus on the objective sensory world are eager to experience it fully. Seth is not an SE Dom. I am almost sure he leads with any extroverted intuition with second slot. Yeah, or vice versa. Yeah. I try to be data driven, right? Try. But that's like the thing is like last night when Donald Trump was winning, like it was a perfect example. It was like, well, I can't deny that the market is going up, and I'm guessing after fighting it for quite some time, because initially I was confused about why it was moving up, because I'm like, well, this information I'm not sure about Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and they all seem to think that it's going to go Donald Trump's way, and I'm not sure that the data actually supports that from the way that I understand it. But I went along with it, so that shows that even I am prone to want to follow the crowd, right? As a counter, what is the word that what we use to describe me? Yeah, as disagreeable as I am. Little Pump is threatening to leave the U.S. Good, leave. Mm. And again, I want to note that there is not a lot of large institutional activity in the E-mini. Right now, it appears that the market is completely dominated by the retail trade. And I'm wondering if they're not going to get in until after the Fed meeting and after the ADP, or sorry, non-farms on Friday. So like, this not over. The markets have not spoken yet. Well, I think that John was implying that I choked on a bone. By the way, how are you doing, John? Is everything good? Yeah, I should have time to talk with you later today, John, if you got some time. Because I was looking at the indicator that we were looking at, and I'm not saying that it's a bad signal. I guess it's pretty good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad signal. We do have some stuff that's a little better than that, but the thing I'm concerned about with it is that everything that I'm getting out of it looks curve fitted. So like we've come into a period where it has been working really well recently, and then when I go back historically, how well it does is largely a function of how I put the filters in. And the filters might not actually be picking up real edge. They're just picking up times and they're getting lucky essentially. So I have real concerns about the consistency of it, at least with the filters that we've tried. Maybe there's better filters, but I'm kind of wondering. I was actually starting to go into another direction because I did this whole thing with the Bollinger Bands. By the way, Bollinger Bands have probably, like as a standalone indicator, probably been one of the best ones that I've tested. But now I'm starting to think, well, what if we do something where like we take all of these signals, regardless of whether or not they actually work, but let's say that any signal that's like close to one, that's like a common technical analysis indicator, and we combine them all into one indicator that just tells us how many active TA signals we're actually getting, and then see what that does. And maybe you'll get something where like there's too many TA signals in a spot that it's actually like you should fade it or something. You know what I mean? Bollinger Band, seriously? Yeah, seriously. So let me explain. Well, I'll make a video about it, but I think that might be Monday's video. Oh no, I take that back. I need to make videos. Now that my eye is a little bit better, I need to make videos about my indicators for you guys. So that's probably going to be this weekend. So if you have a long time frame RSI and you're looking for a really far standard deviation, so normally they put it at like 2, but if you put it at like 4, and you fade those, I have found over a very long period of time, even, that it is a successful trade. Now, it's a very rare trade. When you kind of bring it down, it's kind of sort of profitable. It's like after commissions, it's above 1, but it's enough that you got it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend trading it. So that's way better than, because most technical indicators that I've looked at, it's like just objectively they just straight up don't work. So I think that incorporating a Bollinger Band into your strategy could be a good way to help it a little bit. The best context cannot be backtested because they must be taken in context of a market opening type and day type, probably. Well, I mean that's really hard to backtest the opening type and day type. The thing about the opening type and day type is like, especially the day type, you don't know what type of day it's going to be until it happens. That you gotta be careful with that one, because that can just be like backwards analysis. That can just be you're only looking back. But anyways, I've been doing back testing with strategies. I haven't found a strategy that like I'm really excited to trade, but I have found that adding the Bollinger Bands in there tends to help it a little bit. So But I'm more interested in this other idea, because this other idea is kind of like, well, if technical analysis doesn't work, then like let's just look at all technical analysis all at once and quantify how much it really doesn't work and trade against that. Like, can you actually pull out an edge from there's no edge in technical analysis? We'll see. It should be fun though if we do it. And I'm going to call it the indicator's indicator. Okay, guys, I think it's time for me to go. Good session, I guess. I don't feel great about it, but it was good. We're good. We're fine. Fine. We had fun, argued with Gary. That's always fun. I always feel anxious about it. I'm telling you, he's triggering my anxious attachment. That's the problem over there. Swore a little bit. Choked on water. It seems like Donald Trump is going to lose, but I'm really honestly not sure. So let's just experience it. Let's just experience it. Hey, I'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.